Now that Foyu has showcased the new Ope Ope No Mi, now it's the best time to show you guys the old Ope Ope No Mi versus the new Ope Ope No Mi. We're going to be comparing the new features, the new mechanics, the new visuals of the new Ope Ope No Mi that we have seen officially to the old Ope Ope No Mi that Foyu had developed before Grand Peace Online even came out. And this is one of those few times where it's kind of better to not get the old versions of things because there could be various improvements to be made. Let's get straight into it. Now I have the video of the old Ope Ope No Mi. This is a very old video of mine from 2021. The original video that I actually got, well, that you can see Foyu in here, isn't available to the public anymore. So thank God I actually made this video because we would have had no visuals for this version of Ope Ope No Mi. There is older versions of Ope Ope No Mi that you can find on YouTube, but the quality on those videos are kind of mid. So here you can see room expands pretty big, but if you look closely, we're just gonna have to let it play. Look closely, the room doesn't look, it looks mid quality. The quality looks terrible. It looks like something out of old school Blox Fruits. There with Shambles, you could see Foyu's cutting up the environment, which the new one doesn't have. Foyu's cutting up the environment, is able to highlight the things he's cut up and then can dash it, and it will fling people along with the objects. Now, I'm not gonna lie, thank God we didn't get this version because that is pretty mid. Now that we've seen the new one, that is low-key kind of mid. And then here, Foyu's gonna take out Mr. Falcon's heart, which looks pretty good, even for back then. And then Foyu could get the heart and then squeeze it as much times as you can, which is very similar to how it works now, but it doesn't have the same effect when they have low health that puts the heart on the screen and it just kind of explodes. It's most definitely different. And then you have the defibrillator ability. I don't know what it's called, but you get the electric shock and it stuns them, and it basically frying them. So that's definitely the defibrillator. Uses the move to get the heart out again, and then can squeeze it. Boom, he's dead. And that's all the abilities. You have the room, and then you have Shambles where you're able to cut up the environment, but you don't have any, Foyu didn't have any abilities to teleport, and he didn't have injection shot. He didn't have a lot of the actual Law's abilities that we see in the new one. All he's able to do is cut up the environment, use room, and take the heart out. So again, very good that we didn't get this. Now there is a clip of where Foyu is able to cut up Bari. Now, I think being able to cut up Bari's barriers is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, very good. Completely counters Bari players, and within BR, that would have been crazy. Now, the new one isn't able to actually cut up surfaces from the game or individual things, but I guess it is what it is. Not much can be done about that. And then if we compare it to the new Ope Ope No Mi, you can already see that there is a lot more moves on its moveset. You have Gamma Knife, Injection Shot, Radio Knife, Surgeon Mode, which a lot of people and even I did not peep within the showcase. Then Shambles, Mess, Room. So obviously Foyu use Room here, and look at Room activate. Much better. You're able to notice it, you can see it much clearer, and it just looks beautiful, genuinely. And then that's Mess. That's to take out the heart, and then you can squeeze it, and then it has a defibrillator thing on the screen, or the heartbeat monitor, heart rate monitor. That was Fawn. And then Shambles, boom, you activate it again. Well, that's Tact. Then you use Shambles to throw it at the opponent. If I'm corrected by that. Let me just double check that. Tact. Oh, Tact again in order to throw it again. But when you use Tact, you're able to use Shambles to teleport to objects that you grow up. That's Counter Shock. That's the improved version of the defibrillator one we saw in the first clip. And then Shambles to teleport. And I don't know if you guys peeped it. In surgery mode, you can use a completely different set of moves. I don't think it's completely different, but there are some different moves inside of surgery mode. That's injection shot. Okay, look closely. Look, after he uses radio knife, he goes into surgery mode and some moves change. So there are different movesets within surgery mode, which is really cool. You're going to have to switch between the two in combat, find out which one is useful for what situation. And that's pretty much it. Obviously, he didn't use the gamma knife thing, but you guys have already seen the showcase, so we don't necessarily need to go through it. Now, one thing that is really cool that we actually did not get to see within the showcase is, are you able to use your abilities outside of room? And the answer to that is no, but yes. Now, outside of room, obviously Foyi hasn't shown this, but I'm pretty sure it can be discussed, right? Because it's not really a leak, we've seen everything. Outside of room, you're only able to use the defibrillator move. I forgot what it's called. It's the shock one. Yeah, you can only use that outside of room. Now, again, that may or may not be changed. Foyi may or may not change that. We don't know if that's an official gameplay feature, or Foyi might want to change it, buff it, nerf it, etc. But outside of room, you can only use the defibrillator move. I don't even know what the name of the move is. Yeah, counter shock. There you go. That's the move. You can only use counter shock outside of room. Everything else is unusable. So I find that very interesting. Hopefully that doesn't get changed. You know, it would be nice to actually have a move to use outside of room for if you need to defend yourself against anyone, obviously within BR, because that's where most people are going to be utilizing this fruit. But there are concerns that I have for the Ope Ope No Mi, in which we'll get into right after this. Within Foyi's showcase, you can see that you're able to switch spots with other players that are going to be inside your room, whether they're enemies, party members, etc. It doesn't matter, which is going to allow for some strategic gameplay. However, I do want to know, with abilities that give hyper and super armor, are you able to switch places with those players using those abilities? Let's say if someone with Mara uses their ultimate ability and they're holding it in the sky. If they're inside the room, am I able to switch places with that player and move their ability somewhere further away, somewhere safer, etc.? We don't know if we're going to be able to do stuff like that yet. However, that would be a really good gameplay mechanic. That way, even in game modes like Battle Royale, you can actually counter players that have really big ultimate moves or big AoE moves. This should definitely be a feature with Shambles. And another really huge concern I do have is cooldowns and stamina drain. Now, cooldowns with Shambles and stuff like Tact, I do feel like if they're too long, it could kind of be bad. Again, we're gonna have to wait and see. And with the stamina drain, is stamina going to decrease when you activate rune? Because if having your room up decreases your stamina every time you use an ability, it's gonna just be Diablo Jambe. I'm gonna be so real. It's gonna be Diablo Jambe. It's gonna be useless. People aren't gonna use it. And since Ope Ope No Mi is centered around room, you can't actually use any abilities outside of it. This fruit will be useless. So room is going to need to be somewhat balanced, if not just not drain any stamina. If room drains stamina, I do think it's going to be bad, because there is a lot of moves that you can use inside of room and you'll basically have no stamina after using one or two abilities. So how Foyi decides to balance this is going to be crucial. But yeah, that's about it to the video. Old OP versus new OP. Obviously the new OP is miles better than the old Ope No Mi. If you enjoyed the video, do me a huge favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Road to 100K. Appreciate y'all boys. See you in the next one. Peace.